Okay, we are continuing reading, this time in chapter 20. So we just read about Lot and the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah, which I believe will be the last we hear about Lot himself for a while. Here we go, chapter 20. Abimelech desires Sarah, who is preserved by the Lord. Abraham prays for Abimelech, and the Lord blesses him and his household. I love this chapter. And Abraham journeyed from thence toward the south country, and dwelled between Kadesh and Shur, and sojourned in Gerar. And Abraham said of Sarah, his wife, She is my sister. And Abimelech, king of Gerar, sent and took Sarah. But God came to Abimelech in a dream by night, and said to him, Behold, thou art but a dead man, for the woman which thou hast taken, for she is a man's wife. Okay, let's pause here a minute. So Abraham's doing the same trick he did in Egypt, calling Sarah his sister instead of his wife. And just like Pharaoh, Abimelech took Sarah. He said, she's a single woman, she's beautiful, I'll take her. But this time God appears to him. In the story of Egypt, we don't know quite how they found out that she was his wife, but they found out. Here we know that God appears to Abimelech, and he warns us, look, the woman you took, she's married, and you're gonna be dead because of this. And I love Abimelech's response here. I love this. Verse 4. But Abimelech had not come near her, and he said, Lord, wilt thou slay also a righteous nation? Said he not unto me, She is my sister? And even she herself said, He is my brother. In the integrity of my heart and innocency of my hands have I done this. And God said unto him in a dream, Yea, I know that thou didst this in the integrity of thy heart. For I also withheld thee from sinning against me. Therefore suffered I thee not to touch her. Now therefore restore the man his wife, for he is a prophet. And he shall pray for thee, and thou shalt live. And if thou restore her not, know thou that thou shalt surely die, thou and all that are thine. Therefore Abimelech rose early in the morning, and called all his servants, and told all these things in their ears, and the men were sore afraid. I love this exchange, because I think we read in the previous chapters that the people had gone astray, they had corrupted the gospel, but we get evidence here that there are some that are still faithful followers of God. I do believe this, because not only, God appears to Abimelech in a dream. And Abimelech doesn't question it. He recognizes God. He says, wait, not only does he recognize God, but he is comfortable enough to defend himself to God. So you see, he has the dream. I think he woke up from the dream and then he prayed. And he said, God, will you destroy the nation? I didn't know. You know I'm a righteous man. You know I'm doing my best here. And then he went back to sleep, and God appeared to him in a dream again and said, yeah, I get it. I understand. Just know that you got to give her back, or I'm going to destroy you. And then he woke up again, and he called all of his servants together and said, look, we got a problem here. But Abimelech, he recognized God. And he was comfortable enough with God to defend himself to God. This, to me, is clear indication that Abimelech was a righteous man. He was a true follower of the gospel. Now, later on, the city of Gerar and the people there may have fallen away. Probably, well, they did eventually fall away. That is true. But at the time of Abraham, and there is further evidence of this as well in this chapter. We'll continue reading, but just look at this. Just look at the way Abimelech is, how comfortable he is talking to God. So let us continue. Verse 9. Then Abimelech called Abraham and said unto him, What hast thou done unto us? And what have I offended thee, that thou hast brought on me and my kingdom a great sin? Thou hast done deeds unto me that ought not to be done. I love this. He's chastising Abraham. So you shouldn't have done this to us. Verse 10. And Abimelech said unto Abraham, What sawest thou that thou hast done this thing? And Abraham said, Because I thought, surely the fear of God is not in this place, and they will slay me for my wife's sake. And yet indeed she is my sister. She is the daughter of my father, but not the daughter of my mother. And she became my wife. And it came to pass, when God caused me to wander from my father's house, that I said unto her, This is thy kindness, which thou shalt shew unto me. At every place whither we shall come, say of me, he is my brother. So now Abraham's kind of defending himself. Wait, I didn't know you guys knew the gospel. I didn't know you guys were faithful. I thought you'd be like those Canaanites and like the Egyptians, who have the standard practice of killing husbands to take their wives. I thought I was coming into a wicked land. And Abraham, that's his defense. You agree with him. And Abraham, I love it. He says, at every place whither we shall come. So this wasn't just in Egypt and just here in Gerar. It was everywhere. They always introduced themselves as brother and sister rather than husband and wife. And they've been blessed by it. They have had great success with it. Most people eventually find out and they appreciate him and they let him go, and it's all good. But I loved Abimelech says, Why did you do? What did we do to you that you're trying to curse us? That you're trying to bring this destruction on us? I just love this whole exchange. But it does show you that Abraham realizes that these guys were righteous. These guys did know the Lord. But anyways, verse 14. And Abimelech took sheep and oxen and men servants and women servants and gave them unto Abraham and restored him Sarah his wife. And Abimelech said, Behold, my land is before thee, dwell where it pleaseth thee. And unto Sarah he said, Behold, I have given thy brother 1,000 pieces of silver. Behold, he is to thee a covering of the eyes, unto all that are with thee, and with all others. Thus she was reproved. So Abraham prayed unto God, and God healed Abimelech and his wife and his maidservants, and they bare children. For the Lord had fast closed up all the wombs of the house of Abimelech because of Sarah, Abraham's wife. So here we go. We got a couple of things here. I like this. Not only does Abimelech kind of chastise Abraham, but he chastises Sarah. He says, You shouldn't have done this. I've already talked to your brother about this, and I've given him 1,000 silver, and I've let him have the lay of the land. He can choose where where you guys are gonna be staying. But because he's a prophet, I'm not going to get mad at you. He is to thee a covering. He's protecting you. Because of him, I'm not going to get mad. I'm not going to, but, he puts both Abraham and Sarah in their place. I love Abimelech. But those last two verses tell us that we don't know how long Abimelech had Sarah. We know that they didn't actually sleep together. There was no physical intimacy there. But because he had her, God had cursed the people of Gerar so that none of the women could have children. And I don't think this was just, people just noticed one day, no, hey, there's no new births. I think there was an actual kind of disease in the women that it was painful. There was something there that I think it was something, some kind of curse that made sexual intimacy painful and dangerous for women. And after they gave Sarah back and they gave Abraham his presents and Abraham prayed for them, the curse was lifted and they were all healed. But I love Abimelech. I think he's a great guy, and I think he was a righteous man. I think he was a true follower of God. But we'll leave that there, and we will see you in the next one.